Hey y'all, Crystal here. Today we're going to do some veggie prep and some basic knife skills. I had a question about, how do I not spend, 15 years chopping vegetables? And yeah, the struggle, as they say, is definitely real. And that is going to be really where you're going to spend most of your time, your meal prep time. I mean, if you're on a whole foods diet, you're going to be cooking a lot, you're going to be prepping a lot of veggies. I'm going to go ahead and share you some of my time saving tips that I hope will help you be more efficient in the kitchen. So, first of all, one of the best things that I did that helped my batch cooking, helped me be more efficient, was I got myself a nice big old cutting board. Okay, you can see that I have this cutting board that actually takes up that whole section of my counter next to my sink. And then in my sink, I've got, this is where I would usually have a whole bunch of veggies there ready to be washed and prepped. And you can see I don't have a lot of counter space in my kitchen. I mean, this is it. And by the way, my kitchen is usually not this clean. It's just because I'm shooting a video, just so you know. So this is just something I decided I needed a big cutting board because when you're chopping on a little cutting board, I mean, you spend half your time just chasing down the vegetables, right, as they fall off the cutting board. So this way they just all stay in one place. I can kind of push them to the side as I'm cutting more. The other thing that I would recommend that you do is go ahead and invest in a good quality chef knife. Now, my chef knives and the cutting board were Christmas presents. This is just something I asked for Christmas. I found what I wanted and I sent a link. I was like, hey family, this is what I need. Because, it can get expensive setting up your kitchen to be able to cook. And so that's what I did. I just asked for them for Christmas, birthdays, things like that. So I recommend that you get a nice, a high quality chef knife. These are both Hinkle brand. And you want at least an 8-inch blade here, and you need to make sure that you also get a honing steel, and make sure that you have the salesperson at the store show you how to properly hone your knives, and you need to hone them every use, before or after every use. Okay, now the two different knives that I have, the thing that's different about them is just the taper here at the end. This one is really, the benefit there is for people who like to chop with a pinch grip. If you don't know if you like to pinch grip or not, again, go to a place like Sur La Table or something like that that's going to have a big selection of knives, a salesperson who can help you, and just hold some different knives and see what feels comfortable to you. That's totally 100% personal preference. There's no right or wrong. Pinch grip is not necessarily right or wrong. It's just personal preference, okay? So now we've got our high quality chef knife that we're going to hone and take good care of at every use. We've got our big cutting board. We've got some clean vegetables. One of my other best time saving tips is I buy organic. So one of the biggest benefits to me of buying organic is that then I don't have to peel this sucker. I mean, that really takes a lot of time if you're peeling every vegetable that you're going to be prepping and cooking. And so if you buy organic, then that peel is perfectly safe to eat. In fact, there's a lot of vitamins, nutrients, fiber, there's a lot of good stuff in that peel. Really good for you, perfectly safe to eat. So I'm not going to peel any of my vegetables other than, the onion, because, gross. So I already cut the ends off the onion and peeled it just to save some time, because I think you probably don't want to sit here and watch me peel an onion. So here's my onion. I'm going to cut it in half this way. Then I'm going to do one half of the onion at a time. What I'm going to do, I'm going to go ahead and slice through all the way through the onion this way. I'm going to hold it together as I do that. Then I'm going to turn it 90 degrees. Keep my fingers tucked in so I cut the onion and not my finger. I'm going to go right back through, and then I get that falling off in those nice little pieces. Okay? And if that's not, and then when I get down to the end, I can go ahead and flip it over and go back through it that way. I still have a little bit of the end on it, so I'm just going to throw that away. All right. If those pieces still aren't small enough for you, you can go ahead and run your knife back through it. I'm not super picky when I'm just cooking for myself, so this is usually fine for me. If I were cooking for you, I might be a little more picky, but I'm cooking for myself, so I'm not. That's perfectly fine for me. You know, that's kind of a rough chop kind of size. If you are going to run your knife back through it, I do recommend, if you see a professional do this, they're going to pick up the knife and do that really, really fast because it is faster. For us, you know, mere mortals, what I recommend is that you keep the tip of the blade on the cutting board, that you keep the other hand on top of the blade and keep your fingers curled in, or keep that, you know, make sure you keep your other fingers out of the way, because that's safer, and we just want to be safe. I want you to cut the onion, not your finger. All right, so that's a little bit of a demo on how to cut your onion, because, you know, I've seen some people do some really inefficient things with how they chop vegetables. And that's one of my biggest tips, is to make sure that you're cutting, you know, more than one piece at the same time. So let's go on to this sweet potato, or this is actually a garnet yam. It doesn't really matter, but that's what it is. So I'm going to cut off the ends. And then again, this is one of the things that I see, my mom, bless her heart, love you, Mom, but bless her heart, I see her do things like this, where she'll cut, and she'll cut one little piece, and then she'll cut that one little piece all by itself, and she'll go through the entire whatever vegetable she's cutting that way. And that's fine, it gets the job done. If you want to be more efficient, I'm going to go ahead and cut all the way through all of those pieces. I'm going to put them together, and I'm going to cut through all of them at the same time. Much more efficient. Okay, so that's the benefit also of having a big knife. I mean, that's the other thing that I see people do, is they use a really small knife, and then you kind of have to cut one little piece at a time. Get yourself a big knife, get comfortable with using a big knife, make sure it's sharp, keep your fingers out of the way, and then you can be much more efficient with that. So we're also going to do some carrots here. Same thing, these are organic carrots, so I'm not going to peel them. I'm just going to eat that peel. I'm going to go ahead and cut off the ends. And I'm going to cut, again, and this is one of the benefits of having a big cutting board, is I can just push all my garbage off to the side. I also have my trash can close by. This is just how I set up when I'm batch cooking, that I can throw stuff in the sink, I can push it to the back of the counter, I can throw it in the trash can, which I have nearby. So I'm all set up to be efficient. You can also see I have my parchment paper and my roasting pans already out. My oven is preheating right now. All that stuff while I'm doing this. So when I'm going to cut these carrots, these are carrots. When I'm going to cut these carrots, I'm going to cut these 3 at the same time, at least 3 of them at the same time when they're small like this. And so I'm just going to kind of line them up end to end. And again, I'm going to keep my fingers curled in. I'm going to use the back part of the blade where I have a little bit more leverage. Got a little bit more power. This is going to be much harder to do that. Okay, so get the front part of the blade on the board, use the back part of the blade, keep those fingers on your other hand curled in, keep moving them back as you go, and there you go. Okay, so then it ends up taking me a lot less time to get through all of my carrots. Okay, all right, y'all, I hope that was helpful for you. Please let me know what else, what other questions you have about cooking, batch cooking, cooking in general. I'm going to be posting these videos regularly for you. This one's also going to go in my batch cooking ebook. So please drop me a comment. Let me know if you found this helpful. Let me know what other questions you have. Like and share this video if you found it helpful. And we'll talk to you soon. All right, happy cooking.